Hello my dear friend, welcome back to my channel. This is Junie's Doodle with me. In today's video, I'm going to share some pens and supplies that I use the most often, and hopefully this could be useful or helpful for you. I'll leave the information and link of all of them in the description down below. Before we start, let me introduce the pen I'll use today. It's Tumble Full Circle pen, which is pretty much owned by everyone who does bullet journal. For those of you who never used it before, it comes with two pens as a set, one with hard tip and the other one with soft tip. The one I'm using here is the hard one, but it still gives me some control to press hard for thicker line. Now let's get started. The first one is my favorite pen. It's a German brand called Lame. I barely use it in my videos, but I use it a lot for daily sketch and writing. There are multiple options for the tape with different thickness, so based on what you need, you can switch it really easily. The second one was actually shown in my July Plan With Me video if you remember. It was a gift from my friend. We got it from Michael and it comes with a small bottle of gold ink. As you can see, it doesn't have the pocket in the body, so for this type of pen, you need to dip it into the ink every few draws. Then the next is just a regular pencil. I keep the habit of using old style pencil from sketching since primary school I think, but I did decorate it with a really cute craft style world map tape, which I've shown in my washi tape video. Now we come to Tumble Dual Brush pen, which I'm sure you have it too. This is the first pen set I got when I started to do bullet journal. The brush is perfectly designed for either lettering or coloring, and they have a wide range of colors for you to choose, which is great. The next is the other one from the set of the one I'm using right now. Like I mentioned earlier, there are soft tips and the hard tips, two options. So for lettering, I prefer to use the soft one, and regular drawing, the hard one works better for me. I actually also have Crayola Super Tips marker and a Tesa Real brush, which you may have seen in my previous videos, but I didn't really use them recently, so I forgot to draw here. But I'm super excited about the new sets of Zebra Millionaire highlighter pen I'm going to receive very soon, so I decided to draw it here even though I don't have it in hands right now. So after pens, I'm going to share some tools I've been using these days. And the first one is this really cute crayon look scissors, which I also draw in my July Bujo setup. I got it for recording the washi tape video, and now it's one of my favorite supplies. The next ruler, I believe you have more than one because for me they always disappear somehow, and this is the only one I have now. I brought it from China where people use millimeter, and then I realized that in the US people use inch and feet. Anyway, let's move to the next, washi tape. I used to think they're teenager girl style until recently I started to try them out and fell in love with it too. I'm cooperating with the washi tape shop where you can find a lot of gorgeous washi tapes and get 10% off with my coupon. I'll leave the link and the code in the description down below. Also, don't forget to check out my video, 14 ways to use washi tape in your bullet journal. Then I have this craft knife I use a lot. When it comes to detail edge cutting, I personally prefer knife than scissors. Probably it's a habit from making architecture model from school. Right next to it, I'm also drawing two paper clips. You can also find other shape design online. The next is eraser, super easy to draw. It's pretty much a cuboid with a wrap around it. Sticky note is really necessary for me because some thoughts show up in my brain and just disappear quickly, so I always want to write it down before it goes away. Here I have another knife which I usually use for cutting big piece of paper. Believe it or not, I only found out that the end part of the knife is for helping you to break the blade and get a new sharp one not that long ago. The next is a bender clip. I got a set of them with 3 different sizes for different purposes. Sometimes it could also be used for snack bags when I opened it but couldn't finish. As for glue, the one I'm drawing right now is in my toolbox, so I didn't take it out here. But I think you know which kind I'm drawing here, right? And another glue I have is available here is this glue stick. Okay, let's clean the table and jump to the second half where I'm going to share some art supplies I used recently. The first ones are the brushes. I don't have a specific brand to recommend because I've been collecting them from everywhere and trying new things all the time. The first one is called Fiber Brush. It is pretty flat but also has a round shape end. I only started to try this type of brush recently and I'm happy with the round edge it can create on the paper compared to a regular round brush. The second one is Flat Brush, which is good for straight thin lines and covering big area. The third one is called Round Brush, who has a round belly which can hold water, and you definitely need one as a watercolor beginner. The next is a Fan Brush. You don't really need it unless you want to create special texture or details, for example, grass. Here I also have an angle brush, which is similar to the regular flat brush, but the hair is aligned to create an angle, which is really good for sharp edges and small details. Because I've been trying gouache painting these days, so I decided to draw another flat brush but with a small size. You probably also want one brush for the line art work, so the next one, script brush, is what you need. It looks thin and cannot hold that much water, but because the brush is longer than usual, it can work very well. The last one is actually more like a wall painting brush, which I only use for coloring a whole page. For more brush details, I recommend you to watch the video made by Watercolor introducing all different kinds of brushes. I'll leave the link for you to check out. Now let's move on to pigment. A teaser recently sent me this gouache set and I tried it in my last video, link in the right up corner if you haven't watched it yet. I would say it is really good for beginners since they offer a wide range of colors, and it was also a good experience for me to use pigment from tubes again. The next is watercolor. I prefer to use solid tab because it is easy to use, just need to dip the brush in water and then apply on the pigment. Also because it's portable, especially if you like to bring it with you in a trip. A lot of the metal box design will leave the center space so you can put brush in it, but you can also put pigment to maximize the space. Here I'm also showing the brush that is good for traveling or bring to the outside. You can put water in the belly ahead of time and squeeze it out to use on the brush. The next one is an ink bottle, and this is the only item I colored in this page. In order to show the glass material, I leave the edge white but emphasize the shape and structure with black. I have some sketchbooks for different drawing practice, so the one I'm drawing here is the one with side wear, which is easy to carry around. On the right space, I'm going to draw 2 rulers. One is triangle and the other one is irregular shape for drawing curves. Since we mentioned curves, I have to introduce this amazing circle maker, super helpful in my bullet journal. I believe you've seen many times in my videos. Here, let me also show you how it works really quick. You can also use it to measure or draw a certain angle. The last one, I want to save the spot for this IKEA little human model who accompanies me for many years. The joints are not super flexible for being a real model for drawing human figures, but it's good enough to be a cute decoration. The final step, like always, is to draw the outline again to make them cuter and pop out more. So yeah, that's all the doodles in today's video. I didn't cover all the supplies I have, but I pretty much share the ones that I use the most often, and I hope this is helpful or inspiring for you. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on the bell. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye! I also want to give a special thanks to my Patreon members. Thank you so much for your support and love. You can find the link to my Patreon page in the description down below.